Okay, we're live with quite the motley crew and in an unexpected manner. Today, I was planning to be doing an episode with Mark Groubert on the brand new, shortly lived, it appears at the moment, America's Untold Stories, but the second half of the life of Elliot Smith, in this case, the death of Elliot Smith. We had done a preview. We had done part one, which is going over his life and everything leading up to his death, and a couple videos doing some body language analysis on some footage of an interview with his final girlfriend. And we are planning to wrap it up tonight, talking about things like the coroner's report and stuff like that. Unfortunately, the documentarian who shot the footage of the interview, and I believe, Andrew, you actually watched the video, so you're familiar with what I did use or did not use.
Yeah.
Took it upon himself to act as a copyright troll and claimed and struck 4 times for the videos. It was actually 3. The first strike was 2 videos. Now, keep in mind, this is the same piece of footage. So it's not only do I feel like there's a very strong fair use claim here, but it's how many times you're going to kill me on the same footage. It does not make sense. So I've put people on here to tell everybody what the story is. I'm hoping that we could get the word out, but obviously I've got to get some advice here from Nick Rekieta
Oh
Law.
God, no! You don't want advice from me.
Come on.
You want memes and jokes from me. That's fine.
Well, they'll make me feel better. And then Andrew is a documentarian himself out of the BBC. So copyright law maybe not the same over there, but I'm sure there's some certain fair use type of conditions that you're aware of. And he also saw it. So it's helpful too. I'm not just saying, hey, go ahead and speculate on this. I currently don't have a channel to share what has been done. I will have to find a way to get it back up and get it to where everybody can decide for themselves. But essentially, I just want to get the word out, get a defense out, to be able to make a statement on it for everyone, and let everybody decide themselves.
Well, there are. How many episodes did we do, Eric, of other shows, though? I mean, it's more than just this Elliot Smith segment. I mean, we did.
Yeah, we have 14 videos up.
14 episodes or 14?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, 14 separate videos. I mean,
we lost everything because of this guy's copyright claim?
Yes. Well, we lost the entire channel.
Right. It seems insane. Don't you get a chance to respond or what?
I was actually trying to respond, but the problem is that you have to have a channel from which to respond. So when I'm trying to do the copyright claims,
you know about this, Nick? This is the way it is.
Yeah, when this is the broken aspect of YouTube's copyright system, in that once you get 3 copyright strikes within a certain amount of time, when they're all active, basically, then your channel goes kaput. They just they turn it off. You can't have access to it, which is a very dumb system when you think about it. Because obviously you need to have access to the channel to easily access the creator tools like disputing the copyright claims. Now, there are alternative ways to do it. You can dispute copyright claims by mail. You can do it by email. If you can get YouTube legal on email, you can do that, but it's messier. It's not as simple, and it's not easily attached. But I mean, my first advice, Eric, not that you've asked me for any yet, but my first advice would be to use this channel to contact creator support.
I did.
And okay.
They finally did put me with a form. It took them 4 tries because I'm like, I tried going there. And then they gave me a form that is out there, and it's welcome to the YouTube ether.
Yeah, it's not great. YouTube and YouTube creator support. It's like throwing a dart into an ocean and hoping you hit a piece of gold with it. It's
I thought you were going to say porpoise. I thought you were going to say porpoise, but you went with gold. I mean, that gold is sitting right next to you. You don't have to drag him into it.
I was wondering if that was the reason.
No, it wasn't. I was just thinking of like a shipwrecked piece of treasure
Oh,
that if
stop
you
it.
threw
Don't
a
try to
dart
walk it
randomly.
back. You insulted the man. At least apologize.
Hey, so Eric, so let me get this right. It was one. So that video got 4 hits from the same person.
Correct. Multiple videos, because I used the same footage. Like in the preview, I used a little tiny piece of it that was coming up, and then in that next video, and that's the one I think you saw, the rise of Elliott Smith. Where we were talking about, okay, here she's explaining what happened that day, and we were discussing it. I think
was that the teaser, Eric?
Yeah, the teaser stuff was in the last one. So I've got the sequence here, and essentially, this is what I woke up to. You can see that, and it's like, okay, fair enough. 1 copyright strike for 2 videos is the same footage. And now this is where I think Mark feels I made a mistake. I don't know. Truthfully, when I saw that, I reached out to the person to say, hey, you know what? I'll take it down. You can copyright claim it. You'll get whatever ad dollars when the channel gets monetized, because it's not monetized. I'm not making anything on this. Please be considerate. And if you really don't want it, I'll take it down. And Mark later corrected me on the site. He's like, yeah, you probably should never even engage whatsoever. But I was like, it to me seemed like a proper thing to do. Guys annoyed, whatever. I just don't want to get any strife. Well, that option kind of went away this afternoon when all of a sudden, I didn't get any reply to the email, obviously, but all of a sudden I saw, boom, now you've got another strike. And I'm like, oh, wait, what? What just happened? And let's see, I'll go find that one. This is so much fun. So much fun. Okay, so here we go. That's
documentary makers are very, very precious. We're a very precious species.
Thank you, Andrew. I was trying to explain that to Eric, and you just summed it up very well.
Yeah.
Well, be less precious.
Yeah.
Okay, so why do I keep popping the same exact one? Obviously, I'm an idiot.
That was new. That one had 3 different videos on it. The first one only had the 2.
Oh, well, you know what? There was a second one, but I'll just go right to the last one. Here's the last one. Your YouTube account has been disabled. So this is what's happened through the day. And I did not even, I did not get the opportunity to respond, which I was drafting at the time. But here we go. And I don't know what you think. And here was so if you look at it, you got the multiple 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice it's all the same person, the same footage, everything else. So this person essentially was going full attack. Now I had some help and was writing a response.
From David, you mean?
Yeah. And I'm just leaving it up on the screen so that way, folks can both look at it. And I also would love to hear what you think of it. Everybody, please respond. Please comment. In case you think
academics respond. Just kidding, sorry.
Dershowitz respond.
Yes.
Yes.
Alan, if you're out there, respond quickly.
There's a typo, the second line to videos. It should S after the video.
Yes, you are correct.
And you got to change it to 4 now.
Exactly. So that's what I said.
Yeah.
That as well.
While I was working on this, then the rest happened.
Do we have any more videos? Can the number go up, or is that the limit of the snippets? They're not even videos. They're snippets of the same snippet.
That's the point.
I think videos is not even the correct word. I mean, because it makes it seem like it's an entire entity.
Well, no, it's videos that were taken down.
Yeah, the claims are the videos that you guys created.
Right.
what he's
Okay.
talking about
But
there.
what are we referring to? The snippets that we used as? Is there a legal term?
The claims. Those are the claims.
Okay.
The,
Okay. Right. Right. Because it
and
seems like the claims are the same for all 4
wait a minute.
claims.
Correct. It's actually 4. It's well, I guess it's 4 claims because 4 videos. So
This is a pretty robust defense, Eric. I think it's just a matter of whether a human being actually sees it.
Right.
Well, and I wanted to get your thoughts on that, and I can read it out loud or whatever. But I think that by definition, you saw the video and the piece that we used. Would you agree with all 8 bullet items?
The commentary. I mean, yes. Yeah, I mean the fact that you didn't monetize it as well. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I like I say, I've seen some of my stuff been put on other people's YouTube channels sometimes, and they're like tiny channels often. I mean, yours isn't, so that's the difference. Maybe they saw the big subscriber count and they thought, oh, this guy's making some money.
The channel just barely has 2,000.
Yeah, I mean, they were snippets. No, this channel's. Hang on, I get confused, by the way, because I've subscribed to. I'm not very good at computers, and I've subscribed to one of your channels, which I believe is this one. So I don't know how I got to that other one, but I guess it just knew I was into Elliott Smith and that I followed this account.
It could be, but I also started the video on this channel and then asked people to go over and subscribe to finish it.
He spun it off. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
What I would there's a couple additions I would suggest. YouTube has some required language for all copyright claims, and if you don't put the required language in there, they just won't even take it, which is stupid, because they should just it should just be baked into their system, but it's not. I'm trying to find the copyright help section or the counterclaim help section. It has those things in it. 1 second. Once I find it, I'll give you the actual wording.
thanks. Of course, I turned this in. Well, at least I turned in this much. I've slightly adjusted because there's 1,000 characters. So I had 1,000 characters to defend.
They give you a limit of 1,000 characters for your defense?
Yep.
Yes.
Can they make this any more difficult, Nick? I mean, other than
Give them time.
does it have to be in German on certain days, or what's the deal here?
Yeah, only on Oktoberfest. It's otherwise you have to translate it to Sri Lankan. It's really
Sri Lankan, which is my native tongue, obviously. I think
maybe Spanish because
Eric,
go on. Sorry.
When you went on to Reddit, I think Jennifer contacted Gil Reyes and did this. I don't even think it was him. I think she was made aware of this and she contacted him.
Could be.
Eric,
and
I have no evidence of that, just a hunch.
Okay.
I just put the 2 comments they're in quotes in the private chat. Those are required for counter notifications. You have to have those 2 statements in your notification. So make sure you go ahead and put that.
How do I do that when I've already turned it in? I can't.
Oh, wait, you turned it in already? I thought we were working on it right now.
I was doing this for people to see. I put it in. Remember, I said the support gave me the page.
I would just append it and maybe do it again, because they're probably going to deny it without those statements, just out of hand. They'll say this doesn't meet the requirements.
Right.
Just flood them with a whole bunch of stuff. That works for me. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. That was a joke. But no, I having those, I've run into that before, where you write up this like great fair use defense and you're like, no, everything's perfect and legal, and then you submit it and they're like, oh, this doesn't meet the requirements. Like, you mother.
Did Gil or Gil reply?
No, I got no reply. And by the way, one important question, Mark, where did you get the DVD that I used?
I got it from a guy named Gil Reyes.
Oh wait, I know that name.
At the public library, he met with me and gave me the DVD. It's since been available in multiple areas, on Vimeo and other places. But the reality of it is, he physically gave it to me.
What purpose did he have in giving you the documentary?
I think it was to possibly review the documentary as a journalist at that time, which I didn't do, but I think that was his motivation. And I mean, I was writing for the LA Weekly at the time, and it's, it is possible that that could have happened.
Sure. Yeah.
And you also were a known researcher of Elliott Smith yourself, right?
No, I'm not. That's not what my professional job is. My job was as a journalist for the LA Weekly, which is what I was doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eric, can you send me in the private chat the URL to the channel?
Yeah, if I can find it.
Okay, I'm gonna send it along to my YouTube people. I don't know if they'll be able to do anything, but it's
I'll
always
take anything.
it's always a shot, and they're actually two real people who respond to me. So that's a big bonus.
How'd
Wow.
that work?
They conjoined Siamese twins that are sitting at the same computer.
Yes, yes.
In Taiwan, waiting for a Chinese invasion, but Nick somehow is able to get through to them at the 11th hour.
Well, you mentioned earlier that YouTube's kind of a mystery, and it is, but they have this wonderful structure which most of the time works really well. For 99% of the time, this works great, and it's a verticality structure in their department breakdown. So you'll have this department, this department, this department. And they don't have skyways that cross, right? Like you're not talking building to building. So everything is streamlined. But the reason this is good is because if someone flags you for copyright, it doesn't automatically demonetize the video, and it doesn't automatically go to community guidelines. If they flag you for community guidelines, same thing. And your demonetization or monetization has nothing to do with whether you violated YouTube policy. It's advertisers. So that's why they keep them segregated. Like I said, most of the time it works great. But when you have a problem like this, where in this case, the tower I'm talking about is creator support, you need creator support talking to legal, and their regular creator support doesn't do that. So not very easily. So that's kind of the advantage of having someone there. And the reason I have access to two people is because it's two different departments that will occasionally work together. But
And for the folks at home, if you want to see, this is the channel.
It looks beautiful.
that's a nice channel. Very strong.
Gorgeous. I love
Very
it.
clean.
It's clean. It's linear. It's
A lot of white space.
A lot of white space.
A good strong.
I think you'll get this back, man. I've seen people get, like, someone got their channel back after being accused of sharing like pedophilia stuff, and they got their channel back.
I don't know if that's going to help us mentioning pedophilia.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Sorry.
I'm like,
Sorry, stupid.
I know you
Sorry.
can't-
Especially bad if you
But-
don't get it back. It's like, well, even the pedo got his channel back.
Yeah,
You
well, there you
That's
go.
your defense. That's your defense. They're giving out channels to pedophilia. It's like it's nothing. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah,
not,
what
hold on.
what are
Let's
they,
not keep
Netflix?
repeating it. Stop.
He
repeating
was
it, okay?
he was accused of it by people who didn't like him. It was that kind of thing. So
Oh.
it was he wasn't anything to do with that, but because of that, it got taken down, and he was really upset. Made a big fuss on Twitter for a few days, and then it went straight back up. But they always seem to go back up, don't
Interestingly
they?
enough, I think Reyes might have given me the documentary because I had produced documentaries for HBO. Andrew,
Well, that could be a factor.
I think that was a factor that he was looking for a buyer, or he was using festival licenses at the time. I had produced, Mo Funny Black Comedy in America for HBO in '93. I produced Mambo Mouths with John Leguizamo in '92. I produced On the Ledge, not to be confused with On the Edge, which was an avant-garde variety show for HBO. So I think that might have been a factor in why he was giving me a copy of the documentary.
Man,
Yeah, but that was 2010. That was a long time ago.
do you think Gil Reyes is annoyed at you, Mark?
Maybe he is. Maybe he is. I wouldn't be surprised.
He wants a phone call. He needs a phone call from you or something.
Possibly.
Better bring him in like a vanilla shake or something too.
Yeah.
I would do if I was like a copyright troll, I would have ludicrous demands to remove the strikes. It'd be like, well, I need a Oilers football helmet from 1986 filled with a vanilla shake.
Got
Like,
it. Got that.
if you don't bring that to me, this thing is stuck.
This guy
I don't
doesn't
wanna
want
hear
him removed, though. He doesn't want to buy. I mean, he just wants
Right.
it down.
He
I mean, you
wants
could
to
tell the
punish you.
action. Yeah, it's like literally trying to destroy the channel, and he did. I mean, a little bit frustrating too.
Well, I think it came from her, because what you're doing is bringing in these body language experts and analyzing her. I don't think it's about him. I think it's about her. This is her worst nightmare, Eric, is to have these incredibly professional people for the first time in history look at the footage and look at her and make a declarative statement about, how they're interpreting her body language. I think that this is much bigger, much more important to her than it ever was to him. And I think that's where this is coming from. Not both of them are in LA. So, I mean, I think when you went into that hornet's nest of Reddit, I think they were both quickly contacted by people within that Elliott Smith Reddit feed there. But I think it's driven from her.
Yep, Gavin agrees, and you're at fault too, Gavin.
She doesn't like being under the microscope. Yeah, Gavin's correct. I think what he did, I mean, nobody's ever done what Gavin did. I mean, this thing has been dormant for so long, Eric. For someone like Gavin, his quality to go in there and to look at her and just say, I think A, B, C, and D might be a factor here. I think that scared the living shit out of them. And okay, you got this, Nick? We got a new show we got to do on free speech. This is a spinoff. This is like the Brady Bunch, where you're sitting up here with these four boxes,
I'd be down, man. I talk about free speech all the time. I think it's one of the most important issues facing us, and we're sacrificing it. Here's the case, right? We're sacrificing it on the altar of big tech.
Right.
I mean, YouTube. YouTube's not at fault for responding to copyright claims, but they are.
I agree.
Yeah, they are at fault in how they implement that response, and you are supposed to have a window of time to issue a counter notification under the law. Like that's the whole point. And when they do something like this and then cripple your access to doing that, that's playing into a system in an unnecessary way. This is YouTube. They have all of the money on earth ever accumulated at their fingertips. They can simply disable the access to the content for everybody else, but allow the creator to have the creator support panel just so they can, rectify a possible bad actor. I mean, it's like some people might go on the internet and just lie.
Okay, here we go. And I was waiting for this pushback. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, cool. Did you use copyright material? Yes. Did you get permission? Doesn't sound like you did. That's why you should get permission first, not after. Well, that's great in theory, but it's a little difficult to chase down permission everywhere on the planet, and that's why fair use exists.
Yeah, that's
correct.
Is that true, Nick? Is that why fair use exists?
Fair use. People misunderstand this. Fair use is a defense to a copyright claim, right? But what fair use actually is recognized by the courts, is a new work. It is something that is not derivative of the original work. It is not subject to the copyright. Once you are engaged in fair use, then you are no longer requiring permission because there's no permission to give. It's not the original work anymore.
Right.
So you take a minute of a video and have commentary from behavioral analysts and stuff like that talking about this video that's obviously transformative of the original documentary, and places do it all the time. This isn't like stock footage that you're stealing from some place to make a point. None of that is true here. You're taking an original work, you're transforming it into something completely different from the purpose and character of the original work, and you're distributing it out. There's no permission needed.
The fair use stuff. I mean, what you were doing was a prime example of fair use. It was this comment. It was commenting on something. That's one of the main reasons that we have fair use. We had to use it. So I made a documentary, as Eric knows, about exorcism for the BBC. And right at the end of the film, the idea is, it's a bit of a spoiler here, but the exorcist was involved with some of the young women that he was exercising and taking
Shockingly.
some psychiatric wards. Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
As a
Surprise.
former exorcist, I really resent that. Not all of us. Are.
No, I'm sure. No, so anyway, we found these pictures in to put with the credits. It was like a funny joke kind of thing. Like there were pictures on his Facebook of him with one of the women on holiday somewhere that I'd found because he'd neglected to make them private, and we had to get lawyers involved at the BBC because we were saying, can we use these photos? And they eventually, because they err on the side of caution all the time with respect to fair use, and eventually they said, like, okay, they came back to us and they said, you can use these photos of the exorcist. I mean, he had one of them where he had like all lipstick kisses all over his face, this like creepy exorcist guy with the woman that he'd taken. You can use them as long as you make it look like you're analyzing the photos themselves. So we had to put up these photos and say, look, like we had written next to it, look how the light shines on the exorcist's face with the lipstick kisses, and it, we had to make it look like an artistic interpretation of the photo rather than just something we're stealing and putting on there. And that is what Eric was doing. It was looking at the video and looking, analyzing it. I mean, what is fair use if it's not that?
I agree. Not that what I know. I mean, there's dozens of other people in that documentary and all kinds of other things going on in that documentary having nothing to do with her. There's plenty of other things about his childhood, about his music, have nothing. The segments that Eric took out, obviously they're very short, but they're also separate from the overall work. Right, Andrew? Is that what you're getting at? That they're
well, just yeah. Well, it's it's a new work. It's something made anew by Eric. It's complicated. I didn't know that. So this girl, I didn't know that Gil knew you, Mark, and that was how I thought it was like some random person who we didn't know who he was.
No. I know the girl. I met him.
The filmmaker.
Yeah,
I've never met.
But he's the one who put in the copyright.
He's a man.
Claims.
He's a man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah. So I've gone to a different thing in my head.
Well, the last time I saw him, he was a man.
Very bigoted to assume his gender.
Very stupid of me.
You're going to get his channel taken down again. This one now.
I know. It was L.A., Mark.
I try all the time. No, but someone in the chat brought up that look at Sargon and what happened with Sargon's case against Akilah Hughes, Akilah Hughes, and it's this is why I said I think in the pre-stream when we were getting ready, I said fair use is so much broader than people even realize. Now, a place like the BBC is going to take extra cautious approaches to fair use because they're a big target with a lot of money and a lot of notoriety. Like if you can go after the BBC, you're probably going to get a settlement if you have any reasonable approach. It's just that's how big businesses operate. But on YouTube, people aren't really big businesses. And so Sargon took a video of Akilah or that she made about Hillary Clinton losing the election in 2016. And he took out 3 segments from the video. It's like a 16-minute video, and he took out like 5 or 6 minutes. I can't remember the exact amount total, but it was 3 segments. There was no commentary. He said nothing about it at all. He didn't change any of the footage. All he did was clipped out these 3 clips and played it, and had a title that said, something about feminism, some snarky feminism title. And he won that transformative fair use claim, despite not having a single shred of commentary. Wow. And the judge was like, no one on earth is going to go to this guy's channel, see this title, see these clips, and think this is the same use as the original video. He's like, it's obviously transformative, even though it went against many notions of what we would consider transformative, because there was no commentary. There's nothing explaining to the audience why they should see this in a different light. It just happened organically. So, I mean, again, from what you've described, this like minute of footage with commentary from experts that were not around before, not engaged in the same sort of analysis that a normal person watching the documentary would do. That seems inherently transformative to me.
Awesome, Andrew.
Nick, isn't it the same as hip hop artists sampling old records and pulling little snippets off of an old record?
That's touchier.
That's actually much harder
Okay.
for them to
Yeah.
do. They get in trouble for that a lot. They tend to just either their studio owns the rights already to that
Right.
sample,
Right.
or they buy a license for it later on.
Right.
But they settle those things all the time.
Is
But
it
sometimes
relevant?
they make
Is
big
it
money.
relevant that segments of this doc are all over YouTube anyway?
It's very relevant that the documentary has been published
Right.
anywhere, wherever. If you have an unpublished work, there's a case. I don't remember the case itself, what it was called, but it involved the unpublished work of someone talking about. It was a book about Gerald Ford, I think, and they took some snippets of the book from a pre-release copy and published them in a major newspaper.
Oh, weird.
And
Okay,
they got destroyed because it was unpublished work, and you
Right.
can't. There is no fair. There's very little fair use of an unpublished work. I don't know what circumstance it would actually be okay, but if it's unpublished, you're probably going to lose. But so it's very relevant that this documentary has been put out there, has been shown. It has clips on YouTube. It's been
reviewed.
published by
It's
the
been
guy.
also reviewed and shown and been exposed.
Well, another question, Andrew, or Nick. But from what you've seen, Andrew, would you agree that it does not harm the original documentary either? If anything, it encourages people to watch the whole thing to find out more details and get more info.
Yeah. I would agree with that, but I would also say that it doesn't matter. I mean, you're allowed you can criticize, can't you? That's what criticism is. It's what film critics do. They put stuff up and you're allowed to criticize. Otherwise, I mean, that's again one of the main reasons we have fair use. So I think, it doesn't at all harm the full documentary. It does make people want to see it, but that doesn't matter. It sounds like what's happened is an automated process from YouTube when somebody clicks. I might be wrong about this.
No. This is a person.
So a person really had I guess they just don't have the time to look properly, because I can't see how they've come down on this side.
I think YouTube just by default says claim, boom. Versus getting more later. It's easier to err on pull it, and then you can do the counter. But I'm caught. We're caught in a snag here. That how do you counter when the whole thing's gone? It's like they don't put it in deep freeze. They just
why do they do it that way, Nick? I mean, how do they expect you to reply?
The only thing I can imagine as the reason
what's their
that
logic? What's YouTube logic on this?
Yeah, and YouTube and logic are antithetical. So you have to always remember the thing that I imagine is that there's some small set of channels that try and poach a bunch of content all the time.
Oh, sure.
And are really actually bad faith actors, and that this system helps YouTube deal with that because they know the person's not going to actually file the counterclaims, and so it's just a cleanup process. But that's the only thing I can think of as to why they would have the system this way. It just doesn't make any sense. It's like, oh well, you have an opportunity to counter this, but we're going to make it really hard for you to do so. Doesn't logically apply if you're talking about serious creators who seriously believe they didn't violate the rules. Right. So I would just imagine that it has to do with easy cleanup of old things. But again, there's so many simpler ways that this could happen. You could put it on a suspension and give it a 30-day or 90-day automatic.
Even 10 days. Doesn't he have 10 days to respond to contest the copyright claim, Eric?
It might be 14.
Oh, 14,
yeah.
Nick?
I don't know what mine is. I think when I do the counter, I think that there's 10 days for them to respond, according to David. But I don't know. I mean, I had no time. I mean, I literally none.
Was it quite a shock?
Yeah.
This is quite a shock. He's in therapy right now. What are you talking about?
It's less.
Man's on heroin. Have you no decency?
Yes. Yeah, it is.
Do you feel your free speech was violated, Eric?
Well, essentially, it was cut off. What about you? See your
personally?
channel.
Yeah, I just lost all that performance art for me. I mean, that's all, to me, all those things are gone. So I don't know what universe they live in now. I mean, you're talking about a lot of hours.
Here's somebody talking about Flickr. They have up to 90 days to copyright. Someone is unauthorized, you can sue. Well,
that's a different thing though, because that's somebody just using their photo. Not
Right.
but like with the BBC, you could use her photo even if it is copyrighted if you wanted to critique it.
Well, Matt knows it's 14 days according to Matt. He's on it.
Yeah.
Well, Matt's a sharp dude. And if they don't file, the video comes back up.
Okay.
They can
Well, that's
they
what
can
we
make
call-
it take just to let you know, they can make it take longer than 14 days. It's a beautiful process that YouTube has where there's something that the other creator can do to drag it out to 30, even 40 days. But it's supposed to be 14.
Nick, is there any
That's a
chance
little
of it
different than
coming-
your situation.
Is there any chance of it coming back the way it looked before?
Yes, if you can get through to the YouTube legal and get the copyright, counter notifications in, and they accept them, then what Matt's talking about is then Gil would have 14 days to prove that he's suing you. He would actually have to file a lawsuit. Hey, what's up, Viva?
Oh, okay, nothing much. You're going to see some people in the background. They're in my office. It's very distracting.
I can't unsee what I just saw. I
Very
really can't.
disrespectful, Viva.
I'm telling you.
I still can't unsee. I don't need to do this.
All
Okay.
right, and let me address this real quickly. Again, it's not an algorithm. It's a person. They put their name on it. Every one of them. Same person. Not an algorithm. Just want to get that out there.
No, I meant when I said algorithm, I didn't mean the Gil
no,
Reyes
that's you.
guy. I meant the
fine.
I meant the actual when somebody complains, is it just automatic that YouTube just shut it down without looking properly?
Yes. Yeah, I think that.
Okay, that's what I mean. Yeah, so
Complaint,
YouTube haven't had a
boom,
proper
boom,
look.
boom. Yeah.
Now, I didn't catch anything yet. I've been trying to deal with crazy stuff here. Does Nick agree with me that this is like copyright patent? This is apparent, obvious copyright trolling, and this is totally abusive and should be sanctioned.
From what Eric and Mark tell me about the content, it seems to be clear cases of fair use. This person then abused the system to apply the strike and cause damage. But I don't know what sanction you would get out of it, though.
No, I think nobody even wants to go to court for these things. It's just a question of whether or not he can maintain the copyright claim in any meaningful or legally tenable sense. Like, Eric, what I described to you as being the process is what we understand as being the copyright process now. Like, you file the counterclaim, and if he wants to maintain it, he's got to actually file suit.
Yeah, but I have to. Hopefully, that actually went through.
Oh yeah. So Viva, do you know that they actually disabled the channel, so he doesn't have access to in the creator channel dispute the copyright claims. He has to go externally, like he has to contact YouTube Legal.
Oh my God.
Because they disabled his access to Creator Studio.
Yeah,
So-
I actually, in doing some online searching, I noticed that was one of the issues that comes up when they do these types of all in a row strikes to shut down the channel.
Yep.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I guess we will bring out the squad on Twitter to get YouTube, Team YouTube, to look at it. It's so over the top because Eric was texting me in real time today as it was happening. He gets one strike, then another, and then you see a slew of them, and the channel's down. It's like all for roughly the same content.
Here we go again. Somebody help me out. I mean,
You don't need permission for fair use. You never need permission. It's not a thing. There's no permission for fair use. That's the entire purpose of fair use.
Albino,
dumb.
just to appreciate,
There.
permission is a license. Fair use is use that you do not need a license for because it's fair use. It has to be sufficiently transformative. It has to be parody purposes. It has to be for commentary purposes. You have to use as little as possible for the purposes of the commentary. Getting permission is a license. That's not what's at issue here. The only issue is that fair use is an affirmative defense. It has to be recognized by a judge, but there's a process set up here so that you hopefully avoid frivolous lawsuits.
And let's be clear on a couple different things. Viva is saying fair permission is a license, which it is, but a recognized legal right by license has to be in writing. It has to have some form requirements, if I'm not mistaken, for copyright. And in either case, even just getting a verbal assent to create the video or having a written thing would not prevent this from happening if you have a nefarious actor. You can have all the permission in the world and the person can still copyright strike and take down your channel. You have a little bit more ammo to fight back, but you're still hampered by the same technological and functional roadblocks to actually getting that fight back to YouTube. Plus, YouTube has no way to verify that your permission is valid, and they won't. YouTube does not make legal decisions on copyright. What they do is they follow the Copyright Act's instructions, which are notification, counter notification, and then once that counter notification is valid, meets the form requirements and is recognized, then they provide a window for the other person to provide proof of a lawsuit to keep the content down. Otherwise, it comes back up. That's them following the law, not making legal decisions on their own. The only time I've seen YouTube make legal decisions on their own is when they allow NBC Universal to make copyright decisions on their own content regarding the Olympics because they have a special contract with them. But generally speaking, that's not the case. I hope that helps.
Did anyone, did you guys talk about the fact that when anybody makes one of these claims, they can claim monetization or they can go for the, the punishment of the strike? I don't know if you guys.
Yeah, we did some, and I actually wrote an email saying, hey, you can claim it, get the ad dollars if, the channel gets monetized. The channel's not even monetized. So technically,
now, this guy, he's obviously pissed with you personally. I mean, it's obvious now, but this is the exact issue that is the problem with copyright trolls on YouTube, is that you have to get into the situation before you even can deal with it. But by that point, it's either monetized or claimed by the claimant, or the channel's already taken down. And so now you have to deal with this bag of crap because this is what copyright trolls do on YouTube.
David, does it matter that his documentary is all over YouTube by his own dissemination?
What I thought might have been the issue when Eric was first describing it to me is that the documentary hadn't been released at all. So like this was the first time anybody was seeing it. In which case,
it's been in theaters. He had a festival license.
Yeah, so that doesn't change anything in terms of if it were bona fide copyright infringement. The fact that it's already out there wouldn't be a defense. It's like that's what everyone says when a viral video is out there. It's like I can use it. You put it on YouTube, and that's not how it works. Right. But this is not something like for a second. If it were the case that what Eric did was like reveal for the first time and then claim fair use, that might be a bigger issue. But might not even be copyright. It might be other issues. This is just the fact that it's out there and that you guys were commenting on something of public interest, a newsworthy item. In a sufficiently transformative manner. This is like the textbook example that was in, Nick, which lawsuit was it? H3H3? I forget, one of the ones that said it was quintessential. Oh, it was Sargon.
Sargon, yeah.
You mentioned that, yeah.
And that was one where there was no commentary, but just editing that transformed it. So no, it's obvious what's going on here, but YouTube's got to get off its butt, get the tweet out to Team YouTube, and everyone will retweet it.
Right. I like listening to Viva. Because
he
sounds like what I just said.
and Nick, I apologize. I haven't heard any of this.
He hadn't heard any of it. He doesn't even know what you said.
Yeah, sure. Viva's like, I'm going to be late. Let me listen to what Nick has to say. Okay.
I can remember that. So, by the way, who's on the edge? I don't believe I've ever met you, but I did like your accent from what I heard.
Oh, hello, Andrew. Nice to meet you. Viva Frei.
Well, that's a very scary Germanic.
Yeah, that was terrible. That was really terrible.
You got two different languages going on here. Viva Frei.
Oh, it's scaring the hell out of me.
The first bit's really exciting and happy, and the second bit's very serious.
Wow.
Free.
Wow. Holy crap.
Yeah, but
a Fourth Reich going in London.
Yeah, I'm in Bristol. What did you say?
Oh, it's midnight there now for you, or 11 o'clock.
Yeah, but I got this snazzy purple light behind me, so it's any time you want it to be.
Beautiful.
I had a girl say that to me the other night for $300.
That was me.
Terrible. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Funny thing, I bought a $30 Canadian Tire lava lamp that's the exact same color, and it does, it's fun. Maybe I'll put it in.
It's great, isn't it? And you can change it as well. I know we're going off topic now, but look at that.
Wow. Holy cow.
Got this little thing going on.
Made by Philips.
David, does it matter if it's the director himself who gave me the documentary 12 years ago?
That would, not unless he gave it to you and said, do whatever you want with it. But then even like Nick said, it's a question of, I don't know that licenses have to be in writing. I think they do for certain respects, but look, you could have, No, it just would change the fact that there's nothing private or confidential about this, but it's already out there. No, but
Right.
it's obvious. You piss somebody off, and this is how they're abusing the system to cause you maximum inconvenience, and there'll be a procedure. It would be funny if he actually sued you afterwards. But
Well, I think it's coming from her directing him to do what he did.
yeah, it's obvious. But even if he sues, I mean, this would be one of those cases where you could easily crowdfund, find a good lawyer, and it wouldn't. I mean, I don't know how much it would.
Where
cost.
would I find a good lawyer?
I don't know, man. I'm trying to.
You know,
I'm looking.
I go to one of
that
those
scenario.
YouTube channels that's filled with lawyers. Is 800 little boxes.
I can think of at least a half dozen good ones. Just don't come
Doesn't
to
matter.
me.
Can you get someone who just visits the United States every 10 years?
Oh God! Well, I'm gonna see if I can make it down. This is gonna be one heck of an adventure coming.
Are you
Thursday,
going in
Friday.
disguise? Are you going to go in drag? I mean, you're just coming across like you are?
Well, I'm gonna cross like this. I just want to see if anybody knows who Tim Pool is, like even the border guards, because I've got an official email confirmation. But I don't want to say, like, I take for granted more people know about the world in which we live. I mean,
True.
everyone knows Joe Rogan. Not everyone knows Dave Rubin. Not everyone's going to know Tim Pool. But we'll see when I cross the border if they've ever heard of any.
What'd be funny is if they know you, but not Tim Pool.
It would be funny. It would be funny if they know me, and then I have to determine whether or not they know me and like me, or know me and dislike me. This afternoon's vlog, which is uploading now, is on the Rachel Levine situation. They've already edited Wikipedia. I didn't even have time to publish the video. They edited the Wikipedia entry that referred to Rachel Levine as being the father of 2 children, or having fathered 2 children.
Wow.
So I guess I can officially. Oh yeah, go for it.
Sorry, I didn't. I thought you were done. I'll let you go.
I was waiting for someone to cut me off.
No, so I mentioned Tim Pool in, like, polite company the other day. A group of about 40-year-old adults, and none of them had any idea who he was. They're like, "Who?" I'm like, "This weirdo with a beanie plays guitars for chickens. I don't know. What do you know about?" And they're like, "I've never heard of Tim Pool."
People might know more of the Antifa journalist, but yeah, it's weird. We take for granted in the world in which we live that everybody knows everything we're talking about on a daily basis, and then lo and behold, people don't know who Jack Posobiec is in real life. It's
Just talk to Andrew.
I don't know who that is.
I was going to say, talk to Andrew. He doesn't know half the things.
Yeah, I don't know half the things even in my own life. But Tim Pool's the former Vice journalist. Then that Rubin guy is also. They're all sort of libertarian folk. I don't know who the last person mentioned was though.
Jack Posobiec he's a reporter for, where's he at now? He's not at OAN anymore.
Newsmax.
One of them, but he's sort of what they call a right-wing journalist, or just a troll.
That could be anybody. That could be anyone who doesn't work for the New York Times today. As a right-wing journalist.
I saw Nate was in the house. Wait until Nate's Wikipedia entry is updated to call him right-wing. But well, I think he's covered his bases.
Just so you know, the CIA has a room of people that just works on Wikipedia.
Mark, it's nuts. Because the funny thing is, I just went to look at Rachel's Wikipedia entry. What was I looking for?
Human events.
No, I was looking to see when military service. And I was like, well, that's a weird drafting. Now, in fairness, I don't know if they drafted that entry to be trolls in and of itself. Like, was that a political modification itself to say she fathered 2 children? I just think it's amazing. Wikipedia says she fathered 2 children. Washington Post says first female 4-star admiral. And like, this is the world. And then it goes and gets edited. Like,
well, hey, Caitlyn Jenner won the gold medal against the men.
Yeah, but I mean, and that's
she's a female Olympic winner. It's in there. It's in the books. I changed them.
Yeah, no, but and I was raising it as a legitimate discussion. Like, when the rights of one group trump the other, the rights of another group. How do you reconcile all these things? Nate,
hey, what's up, Nate?
Too.
Yeah,
we're gonna need a bigger boat, to quote the movie Jaws.
Okay, so we're half lawyered up here.
Nate, you're familiar with the situation. Not that not majority rule, but you agree with what Nick and I have been saying about this copyright situation.
Oh yeah, it's total BS. I'm about to say the wrong words, but yeah. It's easily fair use. You'll use 2 minutes of a 1 hour plus documentary. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, that's 100%.
Now we got a lawyer majority. Emily.
We're taking over.
You
do you know all these lawyers?
If you have a sec, and I just finished what I was working on. So hi.
Hello, thank you. No, I
Nate, what's up?
Hey.
Can you believe that the poop that Eric has been going through on his channels? Like on one
No.
channel, he gets shut down for the not the Bitcoin. What's it? Digital currency.
Don't
called?
say it.
Don't say
The
The
crack
thing.
I had a
The thing with the
crypto
thing.
CEO. And just talking. I was just talking to someone. Just talking.
You're allowed to just talk, or not,
Apparently not anymore.
or not. Apparently.
Okay,
So channel down from 2 strikes that happened in quick succession, and you didn't get to respond.
3.
I think was it not more than 3
Yeah.
though, Eric? You had more than that.
Well, it was
All coming
was
from the
4
same clip of the same stuff, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The same clip used on different videos. But
That just seems like a glitch in the matrix. I mean, which is not any less frustrating for you, but I think
I think you'll turn this into a net positive like you did with the other incident, but tweet it out to Team YouTube and then get some awareness for the second channel. You'll be up. It will be a net positive. But
This is an upbeat guy, Eric. You ought to listen to him. This guy's very positive.
Oh, he's a politician. Don't trust him.
No, he's talked me down many
lawyer.
times.
Eric's been drinking
He's a
since
politician
9
and
o'clock
lawyer.
this morning, David. He
You
hasn't
gotta
put
be
the bottle
sick.
down.
You got to tar and feather and hang him. It's terrible.
Well, I would say it's very easy to be upbeat with other people's problems. With my own, I'm doom and gloom. Everything's cataclysmic. But no, it is easier to see other people's issues more objectively and with the proper distance. But yeah, this will be resolved for a net benefit. But what a pain in the neck it is.
Total pain in the neck.
Yeah, but that's a
Especially for an obvious fair use.
It's a glitch in a system where somebody can hit you with 3 quick strikes and they just take your channel down. It must
And for the same content, you shouldn't be able to have your channel pulled down over the same clip.
I would say that a complainant should be able to lodge only 1 copyright strike per day, so that at the very least you have time to respond to it. This is like this it allows for abuse. I mean, and everybody knows that there's an industry for copyright trolls where they claim monetization on videos. And some people are just too lazy to fight it, so they get money from these videos, and even though they have no legitimate claim.
Adam Carolla involved with the copyright trolls? Eric, wasn't that his
patent troll? And he was fighting because they were literally saying that that they had the patent for podcasting. So they went after the largest podcasters in the world at the time and said, well, because we have this patent, which is essentially to have, I think it's content in order, in an episodic or sequential order on a digital platform. That's the patent that somehow they got, which was beyond ludicrous. There's so many ridiculous patents out there. I guess that's a good uncivil law thing to talk about, but that's what they got him on. And he said, screw it. And he just raised money like crazy and he fought, but it was him, Mark Maron, and whoever the deep pocketed podcasters. They were like, hey, you know what, that technology you're using, just drop us $50,000 or what. Hey, it's nothing, fighting us. And I think he did have to pay over $1 million fighting them.
It's
ultimately.
Now I'm going to drop out so you can make the square more accessible to everyone else. Emily, it was nice to see you again.
Viva, it's good to see you.
We doing live on one of these Fridays anytime soon?
I'm live on my channel every Friday. I would love to come join y'all before I go live, but yes.
Okay.
Or have you come join me? I don't know.
You're
going to have to talk. If you come join me, you're going to have to talk about Housewives.
I will then have to.
Oh God!
I've never seen that episode.
Shut up, Nick. It's my whole thing.
I know it's beautiful. It's like the greatest.
Hey, have Nick on. Nick talks about him. Nick studied
No, he
up.
doesn't. He body shames them. No,
I do.
I do absolutely.
Housewives or a show called Housewives?
Nick body shames actual housewives.
I body shame everybody and anybody. I body shame myself more than everybody else, though, so it's okay.
More no shaming.
David, I hope you make it across the border, David. That's all I can say.
Well, we're going to see. The rules change for Friday. So Thursday, I should know what the rules for Friday are going to be, and then we'll see how we go about it. Worst comes to worst, if I get turned back and they don't make me quarantine when I get back, even though I don't cross the border, air flight out on Friday.
What's a Canadian coyote called?
Backup plan.
Canadian.
I don't think the tunnel's going to work.
Moose.
I mean,
I do have a canoe. I have a canoe and a kayak.
You could go on the canoe. Yeah.
Splash over. Anyway, this is Mike Hurley. You're right. Yes, I actually was worried about that earlier. It's like, okay, do I even go from this channel to talk to YouTube chat because I don't want to draw any attention?
This guy Hurley is your brother?
No, his initials are off.
Right, but he kind of looks like you. Though.
I knew Hurley, but no, Eric.
He has more hair.
Now that Hurley mentions it, it's a good thing you set up a second channel for this, because otherwise this would have been the main problem.
He's right. Wow.
It's
Yes.
unfortunate because YouTube, that's, abusing the system's violation of TOS.
Yep.
But I've never seen YouTube enforce the violations of TOS with the people who make the false reports. I've not seen them actually enforce that policy. They're getting sued over it for not enforcing that policy, but I've never seen them actually enforce it, which is frustrating.
We call it the Jesse Smollett decision.
Well,
that's the internal.
No, but you can abuse the rules within YouTube. But I don't even know that this guy has a channel. But it's copyright.
Right.
It's
Oh yeah. He does have a channel. I think I saw it when I was looking for something. Here's
right,
the
but what else
final
are
letter.
what
if
else are the
anybody's wanting to
penalties for
see.
violating the terms? There really aren't any.
That's the first one.
He's got a Gmail account. They should disable his Gmail account for violating the terms of use. There you go. That'd be appropriate.
I like
Get rid of all.
I like the vindictive Nick. That's the one I like.
Oh yeah.
Off of all of Google stuff.
I'm probably about to deal with a similar thing because I represented someone on a false DMCA claim. There's a guy who goes after this the quote unquote detractors of a guy named Darkside Phil, and he copyright strikes their channels, their Twitter accounts all the time. And the crazy thing is, he literally just lies. He just lies about ownership. He impersonates other people. He impersonated David Spade and got a GIF taken down from Twitter saying that it was David Spade's publicist. Say he just lies. And because I helped this guy against the guy's false flags, he sent me an email threatening me that he's going to be coming after my channel with false flag attacks and stuff. I'm what the hell do I do with this? Because at
least you're going to be brigaded. You know it's coming.
Right.
I mean, this is what's going on in that H3 Triller lawsuit right now. Triller's trying to sue over all of the reviews they got on the App Store. And they're trying to sue.
I'm the one
just lies.
I thought you got cut off by the internet. Turns
That's
out
what I
it was
thought.
me.
Yeah. I thought the same thing.
Okay, everybody, I'm ducking out because you're going to hear piano now. Do you hear it? It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah, it's fine.
It was nice to meet all of you. Nice to see all of you again. Meet all of you. Whatever. Enjoy the rest of this. Eric, we'll see you soon.
All
Emily.
right, thank you. By the way, this is my favorite. This is my favorite part of the notice. What to do next?
Nothing, because it's too late.
This is the same email where they said channel's gone. But if you believe you're not at fault, submit a counter notification. You click that, and it's the dead channel.
Right.
I'm like, come on. There's no sense of irony. Your own email says it's gone.
And you may also contact the party that removed your video.
Yeah, I tried that earlier, and the response, I'm going to assume, since that email went out like 6 this morning, and noon, I got 2 more strikes from the same individual. I'm guessing that his response was not friendly.
Yeah, that was an F.
Well, I'm noticing little bits of systems that don't work in YouTube. For example, lately I've been trying to disable my live chat replay due to a community guideline strike that I got that was somehow from the chat, at least in part. And if you disable the live chat replay, at least on my channel, it doesn't disable it. You can't disable it. I can't get rid of it.
That's so. You know what you could do, Nick? Because this happened to my channel all the time. I tried to edit off a portion at the beginning of my video or the countdown or at the end.
And then it drops.
And it'll completely disable.
Yeah, the only reason I don't do that is because that processing, when you do an edit, takes 15 to 30 hours. So
it does.
I'm more just bitching at YouTube and telling them that they're stupid for not being able to actually program their own system. That's what I do.
You have managers, yes? Bitch, at least you have someone to bitch to.
Exactly. It's been cathartic, if nothing else.
I actually met. Oh, go ahead.
On.
Sorry, Andrew. Nice to meet you. I'm Emily. I interrupt.
Nice to meet you, Emily.
Too much.
No, you talked not enough, if anything.
Hi, Mark. I haven't met you either. I used to see your YouTube channel.
This, Emily. I'm just passing by. That's the British guy talk.
I think you put on a tie to come here. It looks like.
Not
just passing by.
It's a lovely tie. I was just going to say that I can't believe like all these all these things you have to go through on YouTube, because my podcast is mostly audio in terms of like the listenership. It's like 95% audio, and you don't have to worry about anything. You just stick it out there. No one seems to care. The video stuff, like you're making me not want to continue with it, to be honest.
It's the platform more than it's the video versus audio.
Sure,
Yeah.
Definitely the platform.
But I get it. I mean, I had the fortune of being at VidSummit and getting to chat with the head of the algorithm for YouTube. So he's in charge of the discovery team. And this is something that we talked about a lot because it's very much on their mind of how do we deal with people who abuse the system? And how do we deal with, when we talk about harassment on the platform, when somebody's like, it's harassment, and it's like, no, your feelings are just hurt. That's not necessarily harassment. But then there is sometimes legitimate harassment on the platform. And how do you deal with that? Because there are things you can't just program an algorithm to deal with. And so there's an awareness for sure that the system's not perfect and a desire to make it better. But it's also a how do you balance it? And when we were having the conversation, I'm like, communication. There is no good channel of communication when stuff like this happens for creators. And that's the biggest point of friction. That's what you're saying.
Emily, is that intentional? Is that intentional, Emily?
I think it's resources. Google does not offer YouTube the amount of resources that they have elsewhere. Right. And so it's like, well, we have this chat in the channel. It's like, right, but if the channel goes down, then your option is going to Twitter. And then you have to wait through the Twitter process, but you don't have the same level of support that you did if you had the chat in the channel. So there isn't a really good connection between if the channel goes down, then how do you contact YouTube? Is
that what you were referring to, Eric, about using the Twitter method?
Yes. Team YouTube is really the only recourse that I've seen that's effective, especially when you're nuked. Because when my original channel was gone in February, fortunately I had folks here and others who went, hey YouTube, so I'd record a short video and then that went out. I'm still extremely annoyed and upset, but at least I have this channel to go do a live stream and talk about it and everything else, even though I am still terrified that there's an association and they can try to do something. Like, obviously I'm not going to play any of that footage on here right now.
Oh, come on.
To prove people are right wrong.
Stick it to
not even living on the edge.
Come on, let's go. Hunley.
And actually, that's a good question. Somebody's asking
I liked
about
Andrew's
locals.
lights, so I switched.
Oh, look at you guys.
I wish I had all that stuff. Look at that. I'm so jealous.
I was like, back to the purple, back to the purple.
I'm thinking about putting the videos up on locals for people who want to see it and for arguing about it publicly. Is that where people would like to see it? Because I can't see putting it on yet another place. I have a locals presence. What do you guys think?
I would wait to do that. Only reason why is because locals kind of has those same DMCA rules that YouTube has to follow, but locals isn't really doing it as extensively as YouTube. So I'm thinking if you move the problem over there and this person is vindictive, you may have the same problem over there because it's a regular takedown and all the websites kind of have to have a little process for this DMCA takedown. So I don't know if you want to subject locals to that.
Well, you see, if I was already syncing on Odyssey, it would be there right now. I didn't have that set up yet. So it's kind of like, where can I put it? I guess I could put it in locals behind the paywall.
Yeah, maybe that might work.
So, Emily, was the person you talked to who's the head of the algorithm, was that a man or a lady? Just curious for my follow-up.
There are other choices.
Gentlemen, imagine thinking that you're the guy in charge of Skynet. Like, imagine, oh yeah, I run the algorithm at Google. Oh, do you run the algorithm? That's cute.
Well, he's the head of the discovery team, which is what they call it, but yes. But really trying to be creator focused amongst a very large corporation. So
don't want to bury the lead here.
He probably uses that at a bar. He's like, I am the YouTube algorithm.
I asked him what he thought of the portrayal of the algorithm in Wreck-It Ralph 2 Breaks the Internet, and we had a lovely discussion about that. So, I'm a professional always.
Wow.
The best part is I know exactly why I don't get invited to any of these things.
This is a good point. I don't
and
know.
I answered in the chat. I did meet Legal Eagle. There's photographic evidence.
Nice. I don't
shorter than I
know
thought.
if this is going to be true.
His
or
hair's
not.
not.
You
Gil-
body shaming against me.
Hair.
You just assaulted a
His hair-
man's hair.
His hair's not shorter than you.
Yeah,
would
but
think.
it's a significant percentage of his size. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so this is a good question. If the shall we say striker or whatever we want to call him, I'll use colloquially troll, is watching this, what would be a good message to him?
That's not how things are done on YouTube. Don't be a dick.
Don't
I
be
don't
a
know if
dick.
you want
That's a
me to
great
answer.
message. Don't be
Yeah,
a
please
dick.
go ahead, Nick. You're interpreting for yourself. I'm not going to answer. I'm having my lawyers
I like
answer.
the way Nick responds to things because one of my favorite videos on Nick's channel, he's responding to a ridiculous letter that he received,
From
and
that
at the end of
lawyer?
it, he's like, "Oh, and fuck you." And there are times I always want to respond that way, and don't
Look,
always.
Copyright trolls are garbage. Abusing the copyright system is garbage. It doesn't make you cool. It doesn't make you clever. Eventually, YouTube creators are generally able to get around the roadblocks and get back into the system, but you will forever be trash for doing what you did.
Whoa.
Just fuck off. Like, seriously, I'm so tired of these people who do this. They interfere with people's lives. They interfere with the creative process. They interfere with creating art and entertainment for everybody. And that's all any of us are trying to do. And for you to come in and get your panties in a bunch about it. Oh, you used 1 minute of my video. You know what? Sod off. No one cares about you. No one ever cared about your documentary until other people reviewed it. And that makes you a cuck.
Stronger than I would have said.
No.
I warned
Well,
you.
Yo, Nick,
I
tell
like
us how you really feel.
No, I like it, Nick.
The French translation is even harsher, Nick, when you translate it.
But is this really an issue of hurt feelings that someone just didn't like the commentary? Because it was body language review.
The body language experts had an interesting take on what they were looking at, so it may be the content of their remarks.
That's it. I'm sure that's it. This isn't hurt feelings about. This isn't a problem for. It is hurt feelings. Sorry, this is not about the copyright itself. I mean, this is a good thing for that person. More people will want to watch documentary, as Eric was saying before. Not that matters in the fair use.
No.
Whether it's fair use or not, but it seems like this is clearly to me something like they were pissed off with the content. They weren't happy with the content, which was the analyzing body language and stuff. Right. That's what this is about. So they're not going to drop that, but I'm sure this will be back in a few days. Eric, how many followers did you have on that channel?
Just over 2,000, like 2150 or something in there. I hadn't hit the 4,000 hours. Well, actually, I did hit it.
Yeah, you did hit it.
Yeah, which is very irritating. It's kind of like when this channel got hit in February, which was, by the way, in error. I have documentation from YouTube. It was in error. I had 0 strikes, 0 problems, anything else. Just to clarify, I hit 15,000 in the middle of that stream and was down 10 minutes later and nuked. This one, I hit 4,000 hours and today wiped out. So
how old was the channel, Eric? How long have we been doing this?
We've actually been doing it 3 weeks tomorrow.
Okay.
So it was growing really nicely. That was nice. I started the channel with you, and we were going to at least qualify to apply for monetization, I think, today or tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
I would say this, that you got more followers in 3 weeks than I got in a year and a half so far on YouTube. So you're doing all right.
Saying that, Eric. That's the 15th time I've heard this. Is that
in
true?
fairness, though, Andrew, I have another channel that has 23,000 people that I was trying to encourage to come over who have similar interests. So
it's good though.
My first channel took a while to get to 1,000. I took several months to get to 1,000 and a year plus to get to 10,000. So.
It took me like 5 years to get to 5,000 on my channel before it started to grow. So.
And
soon we're gonna strip Nick.
I have no doubt. I have no doubt that you have sufficient Housewives fans to outdo me. No problem. I'm just watching. I'm like, she's brilliant. I think she's great.
I'm like,
I-
Emily,
Wednesdays.
what-
You mentioned Housewives. I was scared. I'm like, is it Wednesday? Is it Wednesday? I'm waiting for the Housewives Wednesday.
It's
gonna
not
be
Wednesday.
fire.
I know. I've dragged Nate into all kinds of shit he doesn't want to know about. Nate's like, well, now I'm interested. Now there's like law and deception. Has anyone gone down the Murdaugh rabbit trail yet? Good God. No? Oh, Lordy. All
Yeah,
right,
Andrew,
well,
go. You'll get some
talk
subs
about
here.
that another.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised you didn't already. He's been on my channel.
Wait, who are we
They
talking
want to
about?
know.
Murdoch.
It's well, no. On the Edge is Andrew's channel. Anybody who wants to follow him, it's On the Edge with Andrew Gold, or search Andrew Gold BBC, and he'll come up quickly that way. Don't search
Can somebody
just
put
Andrew
his link in the
Gold
chat?
because there's an '80s pop singer that will come up ahead of him,
That's his father.
Yeah.
Don't say that.
like a swooner.
Hey, Andrew,
He-
if you put your link in the private chat, I can put it in the main chat so people can easily find it.
Oh, thank you. What am I doing? This is why I don't have any followers. I don't know what I'm
It
doing.
should be in the video description, Eric.
I will do that afterward, but since I can't rely on who's going to show up, I don't know.
That's
So-
a very,
true.
very fair point. Eric's like, who's going to be
Eric,
here?
did-
You
did
never
you-
know who, and you
Did
never
you
know
put the
when.
guy's documentary in the show notes? As a
Yes, actually, I did. I in the
Oh.
is he a
description.
nice guy?
I wanted to know. I said it was from unreleased documentary. Gave the name and put a link to IMDb. I thought, well, I wanted to credit what we were commenting on, but
Now, when you said unreleased, had it been released at some point? Have you guys already had
it
this
was
discussion?
played publicly, but it did
Okay.
not get distribution. So it's like
So unreleased is not really a fair characterization.
It's
Okay.
released, but not. I mean, it's published, but it didn't
Yeah,
get
it's published but not distributed.
right. It didn't get a broad release.
You can buy a festival license for films that are in Sundance and film festivals, Emily, and never sell the product, and you can just do a festival licensing tour for any film for years. You know, if you renew the license, you can just have a
So
license.
it's been publicly aired, displayed, shown,
yes,
created. That's all.
yes.
and it's
that's-
on Vimeo, and pieces of it are all over the internet, according to Mark as well.
Yeah.
So somebody's just really mad at you. I know what that's like.
Oh yeah, don't we? We all should know, right? Everybody on the lower bottom, we all know.
All right, Andrew, you got one spot.
How many bar complaints
Hey.
have we gotten? Well, I've gotten 2 coming right now. So
I've got
People
11.
keep threatening me with them, but
They're
we've
the
seen that
best.
the California bar doesn't care.
I
It's-
love
it's
them.
like-
I want more.
but it's like people don't realize that you have to have some like legal interaction with them. Like it's like Nate saw me on the street and he said that I was fat, so take his law license. Like no, this is just not. It doesn't work that way.
I can't
Does that
imagine
happen
you
often,
actually
Nate?
saying
More than
that
that.
to someone, Nate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more like Nate said that the U.S. women's soccer team denied a deal that they were offered, and I don't like that.
Take his license. Take his license.
Take his license.
That's true. Somebody's saying it's not at me; it's at Mark. Maybe Mark's a
Could be
bad boy.
either one. I have enemies in strange places. I mean,
Somebody-
I just testified in the Sirhan parole hearing,
True.
and they happen to agree with me, and now they want to parole Sirhan. So now I got that problem.
By the way, that's another video that you cannot see right now because some troll took the video out.
Right.
Thanks a lot. Well, actually, on that note, folks, seriously, look out for it. Consider following me on Locals and structure.locals.com. Obviously, follow all the amazing people here. Mark is actually at Lord Buckley without an E. So it's LORD BUCKLY because he's cheeky. And please look out. Help us get the word out. You know what? If you disagree, comment below. If you do agree, please comment below too. I put up on the screen earlier the basic argument. It was adjusted slightly of my claims. I think they're legitimate. I've had a few lawyers on here tonight who seem to agree, and I really, really do appreciate the support very deeply. Please subscribe to this channel. I'll be putting community posts out and whatever I can, and I just hope to get the channel back so we
Twitter.
can
You need
continue.
people to go follow you on Twitter as well, so
Oh,
they
yes.
can share it at Team YouTube, because
Yes.
Twitter seems to have the actual sway when it comes to YouTube putting stuff back up.
Oh, weird. Okay.
That's true. It's
Yes.
Hunley Eric on Twitter.
Yeah, it moves them when you get them on Twitter. It moves them.
Weird. Yes.
Yeah, well, except for me because I keep calling them heaps of garbage. I don't know if that's.
Oh,
very
that was
effective.
you who said that?
I say that
You're-
about Team
Mark
YouTube
is
all the time.
shocked.
I'm shocked. I'm just meeting you for the first time.
Thank you so much, Ziggy. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Seriously. And follow Andrew. Come on. Andrew, Andrew wants to build. He's got really good content, great interviews, silky voice.
I already followed him.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll follow all of you as well. I'm trying to do it as well while listening. I'm sorry I haven't contributed enough to this. It's just we got outnumbered by lawyers who actually know what they're talking about, and I'm used to pretending I know what I'm talking about, and I wasn't able to do it here.
Don't worry, I'll
no,
tell you a
often we
secret.
just pretend what we're talking about.